Greetings, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to be looking at role modeling as a leader. Maishu, arigatou gozaimasu, and welcome back to the 7th year of the Leadership Japan series. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your success. The president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, a best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. My new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, is going to be released shortly. We are broadcasting around the world from Minato-ku in the center of Tokyo, the leadership capital of Japan. Now, this podcast brings insights, examples, and experience about leading in Japan, and trust me, it is different here. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentations Japan series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Before we get going, today's Japanese phrase is kakkoi. Kakkoi, handy phrase. If something's really impressive or awesome, you can say kakkoi, kakkoi, kakkoi. You know, if you're wearing a nice fedora hat, for example, and it looks really stylish, someone will say, oh, kakkoi, kakkoi, kakkoi. Or if you've got a nice scarf, or, you know, you've got a beautiful new car, new sports car or something, kakkoi, very stylish, kakkoi, awesome. Oh, that looks really cool. Kakkoi, kakkoi, kakkoi. This is episode number 403. And today we are talking about how to be a role model as a leader. Smirks appear quite quickly when you mention role model and leaders in the same breath. Most people's experiences with leaders as role models have been that they encompass the what not to do as a leader variety, Hanmen Kyoshi, or teacher by negative example, as we say in Japanese. What are some of the things we should be focused on in our quest to become a real role model for our teams? We can break the role model aspect into 4 major areas: self-aware, accountability, others-focused, and strategic. Within these 4 categories, there are 11 subcategories on which we're going to focus today. Do a mental audit of yourself and see how many boxes you can check, acknowledging that you are doing a good job. Number 1, self-aware. This covers a number of subcategories like self-directed. Leaders have to give others direction, so they must be independent types who don't have to rely on others to know what to do. They have to be self-regulated, which is a fancy pants way of saying they need strong personal discipline. The leader has to decide what needs to be done and then marshals everything needed to get the job done. This is effort which has to be sustained over time, and that is where the self-discipline aspect kicks in. Develop self talks about taking 100% responsibility for one's own career. Depending on others or the company in general, to take care of your career is folly. We need to represent value to an employer, because if we don't, then we'll be replaced by someone who does. The tricky thing about business is they keep moving the goalposts. What was required when you started and what is required today may be quite different, scarily different. If you've been pursuing your own personal growth, then there is a safety factor involved to enable you to weather the storms. Confident is a vague term, really. What actually defines being confident? We can recognize it more easily than we can articulate it. A leader who has confidence speaks in a certain way, with a certain finality. Hesitation never arises, and the body language backs up the words. Find out more. We come back from the break. You can find out more about those programs on our website at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. You can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for Selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, as well as my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, we have over 1,000 for you there on Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's a premiere business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, we have Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Now, today's show is sponsored from our Professional Leadership Series, 2 programs. On the 26th of March, we're looking at the innovation process. On the 2nd of April, we're going to look at analyzing issues and making decisions. Welcome back. Number 2, accountability. This is another area with subcategories. Competent describes our capability to understand the business and do the work. Most people rise through the ranks, so they have done the jobs their staff are doing, so they know the content well. Changing jobs and entering as a mid-career hire can make the competence piece a challenge. Honesty and integrity are both problem subcategories. Honesty is easier to gauge than integrity. We can see if you are honest and can measure it. However, while everyone says how important integrity is, defining it is a challenging task. Saying and doing what you say is a fundamental basis of demonstrating integrity, as is standing for higher ideals. How do you behave when no one is watching? Number 3, others focused. It's a big subcategory, and so not all aspects can be covered here, but we will focus on some key areas. Inspiring is in the eyes of the beholder, except as the boss, you have to inspire everyone. So we need to uncover what the range of views on the subject are amongst the troops in order to get an idea of how we need to appeal to everyone's needs. Develop others means going beyond the managerial function of everything done on time to spec and to budget. It means putting time into coaching staff and giving them stretch tasks through delegation. Most people stay functionally at the manager level and never quite level up sufficiently to become a true leader. Positively influences others is an all-weather skill for leaders. Our grumpy mood can bring down the motivation of the team. Also, speaking ill of other divisions or sections to knit your own team together makes the team doubt the robustness of the organization. Effectively communicates sounds reasonable, except most new leaders are not very good at speaking in public. They do not generate confidence in what they are saying by the unprofessional way they are saying it. We need to get the training and master this attribute. Number 4, final category, the last category we will cover here is strategic. We will deal with just one subcategory, uses authority appropriately. We're talking about using our position power for good rather than self-aggrandizement, bossing people around to boost our own fragile ego, and having the need for power over others is totally sad. We are given power to help our people do better, and that is the only reason. So, how was your self-audit? We now have a framework to place around the term role model, and we know where we have more work to do. Always a good thing for a leader. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Take what you found valuable, immediately put into action, because idea application is what makes winners winners. Be one of them. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.